Uh, Mr. Wole Soyinka, it's nice to have you back with us after some time. Um, we all know you as a university lecturer, a dramatist, a playwright of world class, and not in any way a politician. Uh, do you think you got yourself involved in politics in any way before the authorities took you away some 26 months ago?
Of course, I got myself involved in what was happening. I don't know whether you'd call it politics or not. I don't consider war politics. I believe war is a human problem, and I'm a human being. You're quite right to say I got myself involved, but you're right to say I'm not a politician.
President Bola Tinubu has announced the decision of the federal government to rename the National Theatre in Igbomusurulere as the Wole Soyinka Center for Culture and Creative Arts. This is as Nigeria's literary colossus and global icon, Professor Wole Soyinka, marks his 90th birthday. President Tinubu described Professor Soyinka as one of the finest minds of his generation, confirming to the high standards of human enlightenment, but unyielding to justice, oppression, and base impulses. He also saluted his courage and commended him for his valiant efforts in the trenches for the nation's future, both as a pro-democracy champion and as a trenchant voice against corruption and maladministration over several decades.
All right. This is just a quick, I guess we could call it a tribute to Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka,
Yes. He turned 90 last Friday, July 13th. And yes, to some people, they call him Oboju Odeninu Igbo Erumale. Some people call him Kongi. Some will call him, I mean, he's got all kinds, but then let me recognize and celebrate him as not just a gadfly, an iconoclast. No, he is that, he is the embodiment of the authentic African. In a continent where everybody thinks nothing good could come out, he has been out there, not just as a colossus, but you can call him the Araba, Oshe, Iroko, of all ages. Since he arrived this planet Earth in 1934, up to now, he's still standing very tall. There are times, like people have described him as journalist, as playwright, as poet, as novelist, as politician, human rights crusader. He was this, multi-dimensional heart, and they all fit. So our own man from Ishara, Ijebu, and Abeokuta, we salute him. Now, he's had issues with people of this generation, or the Gen Z, and what have you, concerning what he described as the way they foul up social media and the quote and unquote the word fascism. But let me also put it back to our dear Professor Wole Soyinka, the first Black African Nobel laureate, that he, by contributing in the making of the gorilla, etc., is a major forebear of what we now know as the new media or social media. That is a major precursor for whatever the youth of these days are doing out there. He's impacted, he has changed the world, and you find, because some people also call him the lion, not just because he wrote the play Lion and the Juror, but just because you look at his face at times, you see that is impressive and good-looking beard and mustache, is silvery hair, to which he once wrote a poem, ode to his first great hair. See, Wole Soyinka is a phenomenon. So the spirit in him that would not keep him quiet in the face of tyranny, any kind of oppression, or unbridled stubbornness at times. He himself talks of Orikuku and all that. That is what he has impacted on generations of youths all over the world, not just Nigeria. Because if you are just talking of him in the context of Nigeria, you are really limiting him. It's like
I
you are
know.
trying to. It's like you are bottling a leopard, or you are trying to wear a small size shoe for an elephant. Soyinka is a global phenomenon. He's a globe trottler, and a few times I've met him. Once I've interviewed him or interacted with him amongst other journalists in Abuja, like I said before. Even listening to his voice is always a treat. It's a truth. And let's talk about what people don't like talking about. I do not see Wole Soyinka, and I do not want to issue an apology on his behalf. I'm not into apologetics. No. The point I want to make is that I don't see him as a godless person. No. The fact, yeah, he himself pushes the fact of being an atheist and all that.
He does.
He's not an atheist. He talks of several Yoruba pantheons and his own darling Ogun, the god of iron, god of metal, creativity, and all that. But Ogun does not exist in abstract. And whether we look at it from a Greek religious myth, or we look at it from Yoruba's cosmos, it is just a path to the discovery of the ultimate force in nature. That is God, Olodumare himself. So you really cannot describe that. Wole Soyinka is not looking at this from the prism of his parents, his mother, whom he fondly called white Christian, his father, S.A. Soyinka, that he would also refer to, like you are talking of essay, or what do you call it? Creative writing or comprehension, something like that, a composition. You know, you cannot really. That is, he chose deliberately not to follow their path in the way they embraced Christianity, but chose what his ancestors worshipped before contact with the Western Christianity or European Christians. You cannot really fault him concerning that. Let me tell you, you look at his ideals, what he has lived for. I do not know any better Christian than Wole Soyinka in Nigeria today. I do not know. It's not about wearing that collar like a dog. It's not like about answering some highfalutin titles and what have you. But in terms of what he has contributed to this world in which we live, his politics, his ideas, his criticisms, making sure that we get it right as people that has great heritage. I give it to Wole Soyinka. Yes, we may want to keep him forever. We may want to keep him forever. And let me speak about one more thing before people talk of the evil of creating the pirates fraternity or pirates confraternity, that is National Association of Sea Dogs. I don't look at it as evil in person. I'm not a member, but lately I have been digging into what these people really represent. You're going to talk of the song they came out with, the one that parodied Tinubu, when Emi Lokon, and all that. And they shake, leg they shake. Baba we know where they say Emi Lokon. That's a song from Pirates Confraternity. They have a way of contributing to national discourse in Nigeria. Yes. Or the one where they sang Agbado Ewa, Tinubu, you they shake this and that. All those songs and others that they have composed, just like the Kegite cultural group all over Africa. The point I'm making is this: the fact that some other groups have risen, have risen all over African campuses, university campuses, and embrace culture of violence, does not really mean that Paris confraternity is part of that kind of evil pack. You look at everybody, the Ag Imokwedes, everybody that was involved in starting the movement with Wole Soyinka, they all have become huge successes in their chosen field of endeavor. So if you must criticize him, why don't you look at him from such a lens? How has he lived his life? How is he handling it? We'd love to keep him forever. In 10 years' time, if he's still alive, it will be 100 years. You see, I was in a plane with him from Lagos to Atlanta aboard Delta Airline one day like that. The energy, he probably does not even know me in person now, but the energy he displayed, the brisk manner in which he got his luggages and then was off, was amazing. Even as he was being celebrated in Abeokuta last Friday, his son came, Dr. Soyinka Jr. came and said he would have loved to be around, but he had to quickly go from some country to California in the US at 90. How many people can globetrot that way? That is the inexhaustible energy that Wole Soyinka represents. So when people try to ridicule Joe Biden at 81, maybe Rufai Hussein should be listening now. The fact that you are aging does not mean that you have nothing to contribute to this affluent world, to this world in which you have all kinds of intrigues and influences. You are still relevant. You are still relevant. So, that said, congratulations again, Professor Wole Soyinka, at 90. Long may you live. Yes, we expect to see you around for another 90 years. You can, you are such a good wine connoisseur. You can sip, take a gulp from your wine glass about that wish. Thank you, sir, for impacting our world.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, sir. That's very good. There's no follow-up to that. I think that's a fantastic way to finish today's shows. Yeah, I've learned a lot listening to you about Wole Soyinka as well. So, yeah, let's leave it at that. Thank you, everybody.
You find his prose in his poems. You find his poetry in his prose. Fantastic man. We want him around a little longer.
Forever.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everybody, do us a favor. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. God bless.
Bye.